Stormpulse. Stormpulse creates better decisions regarding the impact of weather on personnel, assets, and supply chains. But at a high level, the problem we're solving is that global demands for insights into weather threats such as these, this is Hurricane Ike in 2008, has vastly outstripped the available supply of intelligence. So as a result, people at almost every level of all organizations, businesses, and people at home have been left out in the cold using underperforming weather products. Now, if you're new to this space, this may seem a bit of a shock. And it was for us to learn that companies with billions of dollars in revenue were doing things as primitive as watching the Weather Channel to see if their supply chains were going to be affected by things like this. But it's true, and I think I can prove it to you if we talk about the three major obstacles that exist between taking data from an instrument or a sensor all the way to a display that you and I can understand. The first one is expense. So unless you're NOAA or a very large private institution, you probably don't have your own sensor network. And if you do, you probably store it in an agency-specific data silo, which creates a second problem, which is fragmentation. So all that wonderful data that you're collecting or generating by a supercomputer gets output in a format like this. And that leads to problem number 3, which is if you're a business, this makes no sense to you, and you don't have time to interpret this. If it does make sense to you, congratulations. Since the early days, we've been greeted with weather maps that look like this. This was 1905, U.S. Department of Agriculture produced this map, and if you can tell that the main idea behind this map is a cold wave, another point for you, I frankly have no idea what's going on this weather map, and most executives or middle managers, people on the ground, can't make sense of it either. So what most people do is they end up hiring an expert. If you wait 103 years, you get color. So government producing this as well since 2008, even less information, unfortunately, than the last one, but it still doesn't tell you very much, and that's a big deal. If you turn to the Weather Channel, which a lot of our early adopters have done in the past, you're greeted with even less information. This is made for TV, not made for running an enterprise. If you turn to a competitor, you may get something like a synoptic briefing through your fax machine, which is just what you want to read in the morning. The problem with this is not only is it not expensive, it's also not very scalable. One person has to receive this fax, read it, interpret it, and then disseminate it within an organization. And so who is the customer and what's the problem that they have and how do we know it? This is a great example of a customer. So this is an oil refinery. People, obviously weather affects many industries, but the ones that we're targeting as a beachhead, being a bootstrap startup, we have to choose very wisely, is manufacturing and logistics. These have been our most excited customers, and the reason for that is we're moving physical goods all over the country, and those supply chains are greatly affected by those weather patterns, their incomes and expenses, and there's other businesses where demand for their services is affected by the weather. So these are all early adopters of our technology, and what we're giving them is something more like this. So this took us years to figure out what would actually make it easy to understand that a tropical cyclone is 639 miles away from source 680, and how much time do I have to prepare, and how am I going to be affected? And customers are selecting us, as I'm hinting, because we solve that whole stack of problems I mentioned. So by using existing sensor networks that are already out there, data that's already been collected and paid for by taxpayers, and then disseminating in a way that the average person can understand, we're delivering intelligence into an entire enterprise, not just a few people in a meteorological department, or the poor guy who not only manages the supply chain, but yes, he gets to watch the Weather Channel, and to tell everybody what's going on. It just doesn't scale. So here's an example of a customer of ours, Temple Inland. They're based here in Austin, Texas. They're using us to monitor the weather at 95 sites in North America. And in doing so, they actually are able to create customized weather alerts that will send to the people they want to, at the times they want to, based on the conditions that matter to them, actionable messages to say, hey, the truck that's driving down I-35 is going to be affected by this weather pattern, we think, and here's some alternate actions that you can take. That's our Bogalusa facility. And one thing I want to mention is, I'm like a kid in a candy store with our customers, so these people are egregiously underserved by what they're getting today. I talked to a guy in northern Alabama. He tells me on the phone, I get an order for 1 million gallons of paint from DuPont, or pigment, rather, and I just turn the Weather Channel, and I want to throw a bucket at the monitor because it's just not giving me answers to the questions that I have. So we have some very exciting testimonials, better evacuation decisions. Temple Inland told us that they're learning a lot about their business just by using our software. I mean, imagine that you actually get to know what weather's happening at your mill in Tampa or Orlando, rather than just being blind to it. Here's them using it in their command and control room. That's about a 60-inch screen. That's Jason. I talked to him yesterday while I was in Austin, took advantage of the time. Oceaneering, when they capped the Deepwater Horizon incident, used us. This is us, the top left-hand corner, to keep track of the weather as it was affecting their operation. Those are live submersible cams you saw on CNN. Also, a humanitarian angle to this, I should mention. This is the relief efforts in Haiti. This is just one of the many groups that use us. United Nations Police use us as well. And this guy wearing his number 20 shirt just wants to know if his Jeep is going to get overturned today by this hurricane, and he can actually understand that with our maps. Here's a few of the other companies that use us. The United States Steel Corporation. FedEx told us it's a real time saver for us. That wasn't just a loading dock personnel. That was actually the managing director of the Global Operations Command in Memphis. Here's an example of a map that we can offer to people. This is the first time that people actually get to see the weather and their business on a single map. It's interactive, it's on the web, and this summer it's also on the iPad. So now you can get the same intelligence in the hands of your people on the ground. By making everybody smarter about the weather that's affecting our globe, we believe that we are creating a smarter planet. Thank you.